After living abroad in the USA, Pakistan, Poland, the UK, and Belgium growing up, Rasmus graduated from Stockholm School of Economics and pursued his dream at UBS Investment Bank in London for 10 years. After holding several management positions at SEB, including Chief Strategy Officer, and being responsible for the bank's digitalization and digital channel, he decided to join the digital-born platform Nordnet in 2018. In this episode, I welcome our Chief Product Officer and Deputy CEO, Rasmus Järborg. Hi, Rasmus.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm awesome. I'm super psyched to be here with you. It's a beautifully lit studio. I would like to live in here.
Yeah, same. I kind of do, but...
Yeah, well, you do. I get to visit sometimes with you, with Ara, so yeah.
You're more than welcome to come join us.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm looking forward to being in the spotlight. I love the spotlight.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to hear, and it is a true pleasure having you here in the studio this time. But let's hear it. Pitch yourself. Let us know who you are. You got 30 seconds and clock starts now.
Okay, 30 seconds. So I run product across both our business areas, but also our digital channels, including design and Nordic marketing. So I think what people who work with me say, I think I'm a very sort of present leader. I like to lead from the front. I love to kind of roll up my sleeves and get in the details with the teams. And I think what I bring to people I work with is a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of joy at work, and I think the feeling of being part of a top-tier team.
Well, I can agree. I think you are quite present in everything you do. But looking back at your career, it's safe to say that you've accomplished a lot to get where you are today. Is there anything in hindsight that you wish you'd done differently?
Good question. I think I was in such a hurry, and looking back, I don't know why I was. I mean, I went straight from boarding school to university. Didn't take a gap year. I already graduated when I was 18 because I'd gone through American schools. Yeah. So like I was already a year ahead. Like I don't know why I needed to rush into Handelshögskolan and then from there to working in an investment bank. So that's one thing I wish I would have done differently is taking more time in between. Because it's tough to get those years back when you're in mid-career and maybe you have kids and everything, right? So that's one. And two, I wish I would have moved into digital product earlier. I was in investment banking and strategy for almost 2/3 of my career. And so I've had so much more fun working with product, and so I wish I would have done that earlier.
Okay. I do happen to know that you have two younger daughters, or two young daughters. What career advice do you give them? Is it the same as you wish you'd done differently? Let's hear. I think it could be helpful.
Sure. I mean, they're not so young anymore, so it's a relevant question. Emily's turning 18 in May, and Julia's 15 and choosing her high school. So yes, part of what I just said is this kind of advice I try to give them. They don't listen to me that much, but I'm like, choose subjects you like, choose something you're interested in, you can be passionate about, and don't just try to be tactical on what will get you better grades, to get you into a certain school. I think, you can be smart about that too, but do take time to study something that's fun. Then I think, once you do land your job, whatever that job is, I think, and this is more general advice, I think really do a fantastic job where you are. Like, don't come in and always be eyeing the next opportunity or what you wish you did instead. Do a great job where you are, and put in the hours, put in the effort to deliver quality and on time, and always think your job is kind of to make your boss look good. So if you're giving him or her good material that makes their career work, that's going to help your career. And you will get a reputation, a good one. And people will want to work with you. They will want to give you more interesting challenges, more interesting assignments. And then you start building a reputation that I think is the foundation for any great career.
That's truly helpful advice. I especially liked your tip on making your manager look good. It's quite transparent to say, but I think it's a key factor, actually.
Yeah, it really is.
But let's focus on your area of expertise. Product development. I remember you talking about the next big thing being hybrid advice. Could you let us into something? Do you have any developments to share?
Sure. I mean, this is just between us, right?
Yeah.
So first, we're not calling it hybrid advice anymore, just advice.
Okay.
And we have a proof of concept or a POC starting now. It's a bit tricky because there's a lot of regulation around advice for good reason, right? So we needed to work through how we will do the documentation of all the information we collect. We needed to change the policy, even though it's just a test. We need to have policies and instructions in place. But all that is ongoing, and we have a crack team working on it. So actually this week, or even maybe next week, they're starting to do sample interviews, like client interviews, and they're going to do 100 of these, meeting real clients, but they're starting with staff. So actually I'm doing my own.
You are.
I'm going to be like a customer.
Maybe I should sign up.
You should. So Gustav in Private Banking is going to advise me, and we'll see, and then we'll collect all the feedback. So that's super exciting.
Yeah, I can really tell. Having you here in the studio gives me the perfect opportunity to ask all of the burning questions.
Okay. What's coming next?
Yeah. Drum roll. As fellow Taylor Swift fans.
Oh yeah. I
have to ask, what in your opinion is her best song?
Oh wow, difficult.
But she got too many.
She has too many, and they're all good. Has. But I'm kind of like a traditional. I would go with Tim McGraw. It's one of her earliest. It's like the biggest hit single. She's a bit more country, and at my age now, I started to like country. I always hated country, but specific kinds of country.
But like, if it's Taylor Swift, it's okay.
If it's Taylor, if it's it's got sort of an Americana twist on it, I like it. But I can also play Tim McGraw on the guitar. So,
you can?
Yes.
Okay. So that's impressive.
Yeah, well, her chord changes aren't that difficult. So.
Maybe not in that song.
No, exactly. So I think that's a good one. But they're all good. I like forget the name now, but the crossover she did with Lana Del Rey.
Okay, Snow on the Beach, right?
Yeah, Snow on the Beach, yeah.
That's not my favorite.
No.
But I do like it because I like both of them.
Yeah, there you
so
go.
You have to.
You have to.
So in the last episode, I asked Karina what she would like me to ask you. And on the background of you being a huge inspiration to a lot of Nordnet, she suggested I should ask, what inspires you? And feel free to answer on a professional perspective or otherwise. It's entirely up to you. Okay,
wow. Great question, Karina.
It really is.
I think what inspires me is new things, doing new things, sort of pushing myself out of the comfort zone, learning new things, and doing things that are new to me, and especially if people say they can't be done. Whether it be... we launched the new Next website fully a year before consensus was where we could get it out. We did a survey and people thought, it would be August 2020. We did it in August 2019. So that's something that inspires me. Personally, it could be, I started karate when I was already turned 40. So if you're 2 meters tall, slightly overweight, and not that coordinated, can you really do karate? It turns out you can. You can train all those things. And now I'm taking electric guitar lessons. So I'm working on the solo to Sweet Child of Mine. So all these things, like if I want to put myself out there, I don't want to stop ever learning. So it's learning new things and challenging myself.
It sounds like your driving force as well. Learning new stuff is like kind of like where you get your inspiration.
It is, yeah.
Thank you very much for sharing. So I'll ask you to pass forward a question, and the next person I'll be interviewing is our CEO, Lars Åke.
Right, there we go.
What question would you like to ask him?
What question? Well, Lars Åke is a really smart guy, and he's incredibly well read. And I think I read a lot, but he's always read some book or article that I've missed. And he has awesome insights from those. So I think my question to Lars Åke would be, what books are on his bedside table?
That's a really good question. What books are on your bedside table?
Ooh, right back at me. I wasn't prepared for that. Let's see. I'm reading a book by a first-time author called Rob Henderson. It's called Troubled. It's about growing up in a broken home, and eventually he made his way through the state school systems into the military, then to Yale. And now he's published this book. So it just came out, so I just started reading it last night, and it's looking really good. So I'll let you know how it is.
Yes, I'll ask you later this week.
Oh, yeah.
Any suggestion on a book to read?
Well, I love all the books by David Mitchell. It's this British author who started with a book called Ghostwritten. It's kind of ethereal. There are elements of time travel, but sort of in a literary way. He has fantastic characters in them. So anything by David Mitchell. And they are tangentially related, but you don't have to read them in order.
Okay. Is that the best book you've ever read, or do you have any other? I love books, that's why I'm asking.
I have this huge bookcase, actually, so it's really tough to say. I love them all. I love some more than others, but it's tough to remember your favorites. But I'd say David Mitchell is up there, at least.
Well, thank you very much for joining us in the studio today.
Thank
It was a
you.
pleasure having you here. And
It was
hope
awesome
see
to
you again.
be here. Yeah.
Good.
I'd love to be back.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this episode together with Rasmus, our CPO. In the next episode of Management in the Spotlight, I'll be interviewing our CEO, the father of Nordnet, Lars-Åke Norling. See you then. Bye-bye.